Having already explored the television ratings for all of Doctor Who across 3 videos, I thought it worth looking at another British science fiction IP, namely Blake 7. Blake 7, which ran from 1978 to 1981, had the sort of television ratings recent Doctor Who could only dream of. But the original run was broadcast in the late 1970s and early 1980s, when the choices of televisual entertainment were limited. Blake 7 was evening viewing, often broadcast between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m, and was mainly to be found on Mondays. There were 4 seasons, although the 4th and final season was, by all accounts, a surprise to both the cast and crew, especially as they had just destroyed the Liberator. There was a steady climb in ratings at the beginning. The first episode, The Way Back, was transmitted on the 2nd of January 1978, and it achieved 7.4 million. Spacefall, Cygnus Alpha, the one with Brian Blessed, Time Squad, and The Web all raised the audience numbers high enough that Seek, Locate, Destroy reached 10.9 million. This would prove to be the high point of the first season, but the episodes that followed did not let the side down, with Mission to Destiny, Jewel, and Project Avalon achieving 9.6 million, 10 million, and 9.7 million each. There was a dip for Breakdown, which at 8.8 million is still better than recent Doctor Who, after which Bounty, Deliverance, no not that one, and Aurak delivered 9.6 million, 9 million, and 10.6 million apiece. The ratings for the second season were more muted, hovering around 6 and 7 million, with a peak over 8 million at the season finale. This may or may not have been down to Blake 7 being moved to Tuesdays. Redemption got it started on Tuesday the 9th of January 1979 with 7.9 million, but this proved to be the crest of the ratings hill. Shadow, Weapon, and Horizon saw a slow decline, with 7.6 million, 6.4 million, and 6.3 million respectively. Pressure Point took the ratings up slightly, and Trial carried the season up to 7.5 million. Killer and Hostage achieved 7 million and 7.8 million each, whilst Countdown, Voice from the Past, Gambit, and The Keeper all hovered around the 7 million mark. Only Star 1 managed to reach as high as 8.2 million. Much stronger was the third season, which saw Blake 7 return to Mondays, but the exit of Blake himself. The season was to prove a strong one from a ratings point of view, with the first episode, Aftermath, achieving 9.5 million, and the second episode, Power Play, achieving 9.4 million. Volcano and Dawn of the Gods saw a slight drop, but The Harvest of Kairos carried the season back up to 9.4 million. City at the Edge of the World went down to 8.8 million, but this proved to be the lowest the ratings went over the course of the 1980 season. Children of Orion, broadcast on a Tuesday because of the 1980 Winter Olympics, achieved 10.4 million, and Rumours of Death, Sarcophagus, and Ultra World remained firmly above the 9 million mark. Moloch was the second episode to pass the 10 million mark, and whilst Death Watch dropped to 8.9 million, the season finale, Terminal, reached a healthy 10 million. Blake 7 had always been broadcast over winter and into spring. The fourth season, however, was broadcast much later. The first episode, Rescue, went out in late September 1981 and the finale, Blake, on the 21st of December. Its ratings overall, however, sat steady in the 8 to 9 million zone. Something worth noting is the episode titles were one-word titles, and those that were not, Star Drive, Headhunter and Warlord, were effectively one-word titles. The season began on Monday the 28th of September 1981 with Rescue at 7.8 million. The ratings slowly rose through Power, Traitor, Star Drive and Animals, up to Headhunter's 8.9 million. Then the ratings dropped ever so slightly down past Assassin's 8.8 million to Games 8 million. It sat around this 8 million mark through Sand, Gold and Orbit. Into Warlord drew it up to 8.5 million, and then the season and the series finale reached 9 million, with the best ending to any science fiction series, even any series, an ending as good as that final scene in Blackadder goes forth. So there they are, the British television ratings of all 4 seasons of Blake 7. If the powers that be ever resurrect Blake 7, then it is my belief that it would be best not to reboot the series but create a sequel series instead. We might call it Blake's 8. It would be set in a dystopian nightmare Britain, where the British people are crushed by ideological oppression and brainwashed by propaganda. A Britain in which privacy no longer exists, horror and violent crime stalk the streets, and freedom of speech is banned on pain of imprisonment. It would be easy to save money. The producers and directors would simply point their cameras out of a window.